It's hard to believe that our ancestors may have lived among extraordinary colossal giants called Nephilim, but a recent archaeological find is changing everything and tearing down every doubt. Today, the world is confronted by a shocking discovery. A mysterious tomb embodying the remains of a colossal Nephilim king, leading to a flood of mind-blowing revelations. Who was this Nephilim king? What does this discovery say about our history? Keep watching to find out. Body archaeologists and scientists alike never expected it when they stumbled upon a dark truth about our past, when they ventured to unravel the mysteries of history. However, it happened that while on the job, a team of German explorers and archaeologists led by Jorg Fassbinder encountered a mysterious Iraqi tomb in the year 2000. What they found simply astounded everyone when the depths of the mysterious tomb were explored. It was already impressive to know that the ancient tomb was 4,000 years old, but things were about to get even more interesting. When the archaeologists explored the tomb, they found strangely preserved and intact remains of a seemingly long-dead human being. The remainder was dressed in the apparel of a king and was buried in an elaborate tomb. However, something was quite strange about these strange skeletal remains, as it was nothing close to the size of a normal human being. Of course, it wasn't smaller, but it was as large as that of a colossal giant, bringing to mind numerous myths that speak of giants once roamed the earth. Numerous questions soon came up as a result of this shocking discovery, and amongst them was whether the mummy in the coffin was really a giant or just a replica. To answer these questions, scientists soon transferred the gigantic remains to a highly equipped laboratory in order to investigate the mystery. From here, carbon dating was applied, and the results soon led to an even more shocking and controversial discovery. Archaeologists were soon dancing at the breakthrough before them as the remains provided substantial evidence that it belonged to the mythical King Gilgamesh. You could be familiar with the name either from his legendary story in the Epic of Gilgamesh or from the movie Eternals, where Ma Dong-seok plays the role of Gilgamesh with unparalleled skillfulness. As for the Epic of Gilgamesh, it is the earliest known works of literature and is an ancient Mesopotamian epic poem. It originates from ancient Sumer, modern-day Iraq, and is believed to have been composed around 2100 to 2000 BCE, making it over 4,000 years old. What is the story about? The story begins by introducing Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, known for his great strength and arrogance. Following his oppressive rule, the people of Uruk soon cried out to the gods, which also consisted of the Anunnaki. In response, they created Enkidu, a wild man designed with abilities meant to humble Gilgamesh. Enkidu lived for a while with the animals in the forest. However, he was later brought to civilization by a prostitute named Shamhat and was soon introduced to Gilgamesh. The battle that ensued between Gilgamesh and Enkidu following this was quite intense. From the combat, Gilgamesh emerged as a winner, but in the process got interested in Enkidu. They later became close friends, and together they embarked on a heroic journey to the cedar forest to defeat the monstrous guardian Humbaba. Gilgamesh and Enkidu had set out on their journey, receiving blessings from the elders and warnings from Shamash, the sun god. The heroes reach the cedar forest and engage in a fierce battle with Humbaba, eventually defeating and capturing him. They interestingly spared his life but angered the gods in doing so. Following this, a goddess named Ishtar became infatuated with Gilgamesh, proposing marriage to him, which he refused. In retaliation, she sent the Bull of Heaven to attack Uruk, but Gilgamesh and Enkidu successfully slew the beast, further angering the gods. The gods soon decided to punish Enkidu for his and Gilgamesh's actions, and he fell seriously ill, eventually dying. Gilgamesh became grief-stricken after this and began to grapple with the concept of mortality. Overwhelmed by grief and fear of his death, Gilgamesh decided to seek the secret of immortality. He leaves Uruk and embarks on a long and difficult journey, eventually reaching the twin-peaked mountain where Utnapishtim, the survivor of a great flood, resides. Here, Utnapishtim tells Gilgamesh the story of the great flood and how the gods granted him immortality. He challenges Gilgamesh to stay awake for 7 days to prove his worthiness for immortality, but Gilgamesh fails. However, convinced by his wife to reveal a secret to Gilgamesh, He tells Gilgamesh of a plant at the bottom of the sea that can grant eternal youth. Gilgamesh retrieves the plant, hoping to bring it back to Uruk. But on the journey back to Uruk, a snake steals the plant, and Gilgamesh loses his chance at immortality. He returns to Uruk, realizing the value of living a meaningful life. Gilgamesh recounts his adventures to the city's people, inscribing them on a tablet. Here, Gilgamesh is seen eventually accepting his mortality and is said to have grown old and died. This story was largely considered to be a myth because before now, Gilgamesh's tomb was never found, thus making this discovery a big one. Now, it must be noted that Gilgamesh is not specifically described as a giant in the ancient text. Rather, he is often portrayed as a powerful and imposing figure due to his royal status, mighty abilities, and heroic deeds. His extraordinary powers are majorly connected to his parents, as Gilgamesh is often portrayed as the son of Lugalbanda and Ninsun. Lugalbanda was a mortal king and a historical figure, while Ninsun was a goddess, specifically a cow goddess. Ninsun is sometimes referred to as the Lady Wild Cow Ninsun. In the epic, Ninsun is depicted as a wise and caring mother who prays for her son's safety and guidance from the gods. So, according to the mythology, Gilgamesh is part mortal and part divine, with his mother being a goddess, which reflects the common theme of the interaction between humans and gods in ancient Mesopotamian myths. But ancient Mesopotamian myths are not the place where human interaction and godlike beings are documented. We can also find this concept in the Bible, and as a matter of fact, this might just explain why the discovered tomb belongs to the legendary Gilgamesh and how he might most likely have been a giant. So, what mystery about giant does the Bible reveal? Now, as strange as this may sound, the Bible does mention giants roaming the earth in ancient times, particularly in the Old Testament. The most famous reference is found in the book of Genesis, where it is stated that there were giants on the earth in those days. We could see this in Genesis 6:4. These giants, as mentioned in the Bible, are sometimes referred to as the Nephilim. Here, the origin and nature of the Nephilims are tied to the activities of angels and supernatural beings. These angels, referred to as the sons of God, were supposed to watch over humanity, but in the process fell for human women and mated with them. When these women took in, they bore the Nephilims as children. Nephilims are said to be colossal giants who are known to exercise supernatural abilities and strength. The angels who mated human women are referred to as fallen angels, with the whole story suggesting that the Nephilim were the offspring of fallen angels or divine beings who intermarried with human women. While the Judeo-Christian tradition of the Nephilims is not directly linked to the Mesopotamian myth of Gilgamesh, we can at least see what happens when divinity and humanity meet to reproduce. Indeed, the biblical account of the Nephilims makes the possibility of Gilgamesh being a giant plausible. Clearly, Gilgamesh is a demigod, with his mother possibly being a part of the Anunnaki, portraying his relationship with them. The Anunnaki are a group of deities in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, particularly in Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian cultures. They were considered to be extremely powerful gods and goddesses responsible for various aspects of life and the natural world. If you can picture their powers, then you can picture what a hybrid child from them and humans would be like. Hence, though Gilgamesh is not particularly called a Nephilim, he is definitely as strong as them and could have also been as large as them. Besides, archaeological finds have further proven that the concept of giants roaming ancient times is not only limited to the Judeo-Christian tradition. All over the world, there have been reports of the discovery of extraordinarily large human remains. At this point, we come to Lovelock in Nevada, which has become famous for its reports of embodying giant human remains. For a long time, the Native Americans living within this region have held the cave in high esteem, claiming that the spirit of their ancestors lived within the cave. This has stopped numerous outsiders from exploring the cave. However, in the 20th century, a group of archaeologists were bold enough to enter the cave with hopes to investigate the region's past, digging into the lives and traditions of tribes that have thrived there. But these archaeologists soon got more than they bargained for through the shocking scene that awaited them. The archaeological investigations at Lovelock Cave have revealed artifacts and ancient materials that provide insights into the history of the indigenous people who lived in the region for thousands of years. But even more perplexingly, it revealed the remains of colossal giants. This discovery soon raised a lot of speculations as the need for an explanation continued to rise. According to some, the remains belonged to Nephilims who had found their way down there. As interesting as this sounds, this speculation has not been proven. But if giants had indeed roamed the earth like the remains show, how then did all the giants go extinct? Even as a lot of evidence points to the fact that giants may have been our ancestors, or particularly walked the earth alongside our ancestors, it is clear that there are no giants among us today. But the question is, how did all the giants go extinct while humans of normal size remain on the earth? To answer this question, many theories have surfaced. One of these theories is that of the Bible, which explains in detail how the Nephilim were wiped out from the earth. According to the scriptures, God was not pleased that humanity had been corrupted through the hybridity that comes with sexual intercourse with fallen angels. Hence, this corruption had to be rectified by a great flood. But in order to preserve humanity, God instructed Noah, who he considered a righteous man, to build an enormous ark to save himself, his family, and pairs of every kind of animal on the earth. The ark is to be made of gopher wood and sealed with pitch. After this, rain falls continuously for 40 days and 40 nights, causing the waters to rise and cover the entire earth, killing every non-aquatic living thing in the process. However, Noah's ark floats on the waters. After 150 days, the waters begin to recede. The ark eventually comes to rest on the mountains of Ararat. While this story sounds fictional, scientists agree that a flood as big as the one described in the Bible may have likely occurred sometime on the earth. But let's not stop here, as there are other theories to explain the extinction of giants from the earth. From the description of giants in various traditional contexts, which includes the Bible, giants are described as malevolent beings and formidable opponents, embarking on chaotic ventures and causing trouble. As it turns out, these attributes that they display might have also led to their extinction in the epic clash of gigantomachy theory. According to this theory, the giants were unruly enough to attempt to overthrow the Olympian gods and claim dominion over the cosmos. Hence, they piled mountains on top of each other to reach the heavens, threatening the divine order of the universe and provoking the gods to take action. The Olympian gods, led by Zeus, rallied to defend their realm and maintain cosmic order. They engaged in a fierce battle with the giants. Epic clashes and individual duels between the gods and the giants marked the gigantomachy. It was a colossal struggle that shook the earth, and it showcased the Olympians' divine power and the tenacity of the giants. Several mortals, including Heracles or Hercules, helped the Olympians in their fight against the giants. Through the combined efforts of the Olympians, the giants were eventually defeated, with most of them killed on the spot and taken prisoner. Even the innocent among them were exiled, gradually leading to their extinction. Now, other theories include the fact that giants were not invulnerable to diseases and epidemics. Their large size may have magnified their effects on them, leading to their widespread death. Clearly, there are more humans than giants, so even if humans may have been attacked by the same set of diseases and epidemics they are likely to have remnant survivors who would later replenish the earth. But we cannot say the same for the giants now, can we? Some have also argued that earthquakes and other natural disasters may have led to the giants' extinction. These would not only kill the giants but also destroy their natural habitat, making it hard for them to exist. But what if giants never went extinct in the first place? This brings us to the blending theory, where intermarriages may have caused giants and human characteristics to merge. Here, the question is, how possible is it for humans and giants to mate? We will leave you to figure that out. What about the impacts of the giants on the Earth? Whether you know this or not, the existence of giants may have impacted our cosmos one way or the other. If giants existed today, there would also be likely benefits and challenges that would emerge. Issues like imbalance in the food chain and ecosystem, or even dominance, could have been the case, with the strong dominating the weak. There might also be issues with resource allocation and insecurities. All this is not to rule out the possibility of a peaceful coexistence with giants, even making life more easy for all through their super abilities. Now, let us explore the lives of some historical giants. taking into consideration their impact on the world as we know it today. However, here we must note that the word giant is relative, as some of these people are not necessarily Nephilims, but were at least considered to be giants based on the context of their time and the prevalent human sizes at the time. Looking into history, it is easy to notice that giants are revered, with temples even built to honor them. This is because they are believed to possess more wisdom and ability than the average human. However, not all giants have enjoyed this type of reverence. Notwithstanding this, let us explore the lives of some noble giants considered reverence-worthy in their time. You must have a man named Confucius, but you don't really know much about him. Not that Confucius was literally a giant in his time, being about 9 feet 6 inches tall. Confucius, whose given name was Kongqiu, was born in the state of Lu, China, in 551 BCE during a period of great political and social upheaval. His family was of noble descent, but they had fallen on hard times. Despite his family's reduced circumstances, Confucius received an excellent education and showed a remarkable aptitude for learning from a young age. As Confucius grew older, he developed a deep passion for philosophy and a strong desire to bring order and ethical values to a chaotic and divided society. He traveled extensively throughout the feudal states of China, seeking employment as an advisor to various rulers. However, his principled and uncompromising stance on moral conduct often clashed with the ruler's self-interest and disregard for virtue. During his travels, Confucius gathered a group of dedicated students who were eager to learn from his teachings. He emphasized the importance of proper conduct, respect for family and authority, and the cultivation of personal virtues. He believed that individuals should lead by example and that the key to social harmony lay in cultivating one's character. Confucius's philosophy, which became known as Confucianism, emphasized the 5 relationships as the foundation of society. These include the ruler and subject relationship, father and son relationship, husband and wife relationship, elder and younger brother relationship, and friend relationship. He also stressed the concept of ren, often translated as benevolence or kind-heartedness, as a fundamental moral quality. Despite his dedication to spreading his ethical principles, Confucius struggled to find a ruler who would implement his ideas in practice. Disheartened by the corruption and chaos of the time, he returned to his home state of Lu and focused on teaching and writing. He compiled many of his teachings into a book called The Analects. Confucius's legacy endured long after he died in 479 BCE. His philosophy became a cornerstone of Chinese culture, and Confucianism played a significant role in shaping Chinese society and government for centuries. His ideas had a profound impact not only in China, but also in other East Asian countries, and they continue to influence ethical and moral thought to this day. Today, Confucius is remembered as one of history's greatest philosophers. This thinker sought to create a more just and harmonious society through the cultivation of individual virtue and ethical conduct. This is despite the fact that he was way bigger than many people in his time. Back to the recent discovery of the giant king's remains and his tomb. Here, we must note that while a lot of evidence points us to the possibility that these may belong to the mythical king Gilgamesh, nothing has been proven yet. Scientists are still investigating the discovery, and if they are indeed remains of King Gilgamesh, it would be explosive knowledge for us all. Even if it turns out that this isn't King Gilgamesh, the very fact that this discovery reinforces the possibility that giants may have walked the earth makes it an extraordinary archaeological find, giving us great insights into hidden aspects of our ancestry. Thanks for watching till the end. What do you think about these discoveries? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.